All right. So I've been now that school's back in and things are getting back to a normal type of schedule. I was going to do another fat cut just because still on the path, and I decided I'd kind of walk you guys through what I'm going to do. So I haven't figured out, I haven't finalized the diet yet, but it's looking like, and this is going to be weird, I know, but we're going to do some 47 ones in there. So 47 one split. So we're eating once every 2 days. So the idea is we'll eat Friday, skip Saturday, eat Sunday, skip Monday, eat Tuesday, skip Wednesday, and then eat Thursday. So it's going to be Thursday and Friday are back to back. This is tentative. The diet thing is tentative. And we're going to do that mostly because my 12-year-old wants to do this with me, and he wants to eat at grandma's house. So he wants to eat at Gigi's house. So that's why those 2 days are back to back like that. But that's kind of how the diet is set up. I'm also going to make sure that I get all the foods I want. So, my wife makes this amazing toffee and these chocolate chip cookie dough balls, and we're going to have pizza at least once, probably twice a week. And then she makes this amazing like blueberry dump cake with ice cream, and I put vanilla ice cream with it. It's amazing. So definitely all of that stuff, guacamole, sour cream, chips, like all that type of stuff. Again, we talk about this all the time. It's, and I'll post some of the things we're doing and showing. So that's where a lot of that stuff is. But, again, I always tell people it's not the calories, it's the chemistry. So you can have all the foods you want. You just have to make or buy them differently. Like, this is not a giant thing. It's just, how does your body actually work? And once you go through the physiology of it, how do I get the things I want to fit in my life the way I want to hit my goals? So first thing I wanted to do was establish my goals. So my goals are, I've always wanted to see my serratus. So that is one of the goals. The other goal is to make it through all 100 days, sticking to this schedule. And I want to eat, basically all the things I really enjoy. So, briskets and steaks and eggs and all sorts of cheeses and pizzas and garlic breads and stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to do. And so that'll be pretty fun. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to run any GLP-1s. I don't think I want to do that. I don't think I just want to do this normally. We'll see. If I add those in, we'll talk about later. Definitely on, different anabolics and that type of thing, just to maintain. But the other thing is, I want to lose the fat. I don't really want to lose weight. So I weighed today at 256. So I want to stay in the 250 range. So that's kind of the goal. So, a lot of times when people make these big cuts, they lose tons of muscle mass. I don't want to lose any muscle. So that's kind of where that is. So hopefully in that 250 range. At the end of the 100 days, maybe see the serratus. So, but we'll start posting those things. I don't know if we're going to do every day, but we'll start posting those things next week. So that's when we're going to start. That's the big thing that, because I've always, told people you set your goals and you kind of walk through them. Summer is hard for a lot of people. I get it. The schedule with summer was crazy for us. And so it's insane. We're going to start next week because we're leaving tomorrow to go on the middle school field trip to Seattle. And so we'll go up there and do their science trip with my kids and all their classmates and that type of thing. So we'll start when we get back. But that's kind of the idea of going through and cutting the fat off and that type of thing. Again, it's not super difficult as long as you get yourself in a position where you're chemically ready to go. So one of the other things we're going to do now, when we go through the fasting portion of this, everyone's going to lose their mind and be like, you're not fasting at all. Fine, not fasting at all. Because we're going to be doing bulletproof coffee. We're going to be doing a little bit of collagen because I don't want to lose the muscle mass. But we won't be eating, I won't be eating meals. I won't be eating food that you have to chew for, a lot of those times for 47 hours or something like that. So that's kind of where all that is. So, and again, we'll post these, not every day, probably not every day. A couple days a week, do progress pictures and that type of thing. Go over weight, go over kind of what we're at. I'll take pictures of the food that I'm eating now. everyone keeps telling me to do that. I haven't done that. So we'll do that as well. Anything else that you guys, any questions you guys have as we go along? Why did I choose the food? Why did I choose the goals? What am I doing? This and that. We can go through that. I reworked my entire workout. So it is more of a, even though we're still lifting weights, it is a fat burning workout. You can actually, yes, you can actually tweak your weight workouts to burn fat. You can set them up to build strength, to build size, or to burn fat. There's a little bit of difference function in there, and usually you're going to use time as your function. That's what I'm doing, is I'm using time as my function, and we'll go through that. I'll write that all out and get it all up. So that's kind of the idea. We'll see how this starts. And, we're all back in school. We can do these things. So that's kind of the goal. When you guys have questions about it, ask. If it'll help you with your journey, fantastic. Throw me some DMs and that type of thing. If you want me to walk you through yours, we can. The big thing on this that we have to start with is, what are your goals? What is it you want? Because again, like I said, I want to stay in the 250 range. I want to see my serratus, and that's about it. I also want to make it through the 100 days. So that's about it. Like, those are easy goals to get to. We'll kind of see where they go, but we got to figure out our goals. People, I want to lose some weight. Like, that doesn't, seriously, what do we want to lose? If you're like, I want to lose weight. Okay, you're going to drop 10 pounds. How much of that do you want to be muscle? Hopefully not zero. All right. So you want to lose 10 pounds of weight that's not muscle. Great. So we've got inflammatory weight, we got water weight, we got fat, like, boom, pretty easy. So we gear our stuff towards that. If you're okay with losing 10 pounds of fat and gaining 5 or 6 pounds of muscle, it's even easier. So that's kind of where it is. The reason I picked 250 as a weight, because it gives me about 5-6 pounds of buffer. But it's also one of those things where I want to make sure I don't lose any strength. So we're charting, what workouts I'm doing, what weights I'm doing, the reps, the time splits, the whole thing, how it feels, that whole thing. So, and I'll run you guys through how I'm doing that as we do it. But that's kind of it. So when I always tell people, start with goals, don't just be like, I want to lose weight. Okay, it's, again, weight's the worst thing in the world to go by, but what do you want to lose? Like, how much do you want to lose? I'm going to go get a DEXA here probably next week, just as a starting base point, so we know kind of where we're starting. But that's kind of how I'm going to set mine up. If you guys are looking for your own goals, I can help you walk through those, figure out kind of where it is that's reasonable, functional, and more importantly, I can tell you more or less what it'll cost. Obviously, there's financial component to everything we do, but it's how hard you're going to have to work out. What hormones you're going to have to work on, what supplements you're going to need to take, how much you're going to sleep, what the workout looks like, what the diet looks like, what the mental piece looks like. So all of those things factor in to body transformation, body composition change. So the nice thing is that if you set your diet up right, it's really easy afterwards. Like, probably the worst thing I see, the thing that makes me like just feel bad for people, is they go on these diets and they'll go through a cut, or they'll go through a period of, we're going to concerted effort to grow muscle tissue, or concerted effort to lose the fat, or whatever. And then they get done and they didn't plan out any of their maintenance function. And so they finally get to a place where, like, I feel good. I've hit my goals. And then 6 months later, they've completely lost everything because they didn't plan out how to feather into their maintenance, how to maintain their maintenance, and what to do for maintenance function. Because if you can get somewhere, that's great. If you can, I finally see my six pack, fantastic. Can you keep it? Like a lot of people, especially if you're running a calorie diet, which is, again, hilarious. Don't run calorie diets. Come on. Like, seriously, calories? But they'll run calorie diets and they'll starve themselves and they'll lose weight, but they lost too much muscle mass. And then when they get off the diet, because it's unsustainable, because they didn't do any of the foods they like, they're eating way too little, they're just miserable the whole time. And since they're basically on calories, the chemistry is all screwed up, making them hungry all the time and making them grouchy and stuff like that. And so, they get off and they start eating again and they get fat because, again, they've lost too much muscle mass, their metabolism's all screwed up, and they didn't plan maintenance function. So we'll kind of go through some of the maintenance function that I expect to do, because I want to lose all this stuff, but I also don't want to gain everything back once we're done. So we'll kind of see how it goes through. You guys can follow all that stuff and ask any of the questions you guys have as we go through. So should be fun. So we'll run that and it'll be nice. So again, if you have any questions, ask. If not, we'll see you when I get back on Tuesday. All right. You guys have a fantastic day and thanks for your time.